Now this is old.
So from everybody here, let's hear it again for everybody out there. At the Labour Party conference at Blackpool, Neil Kinnock was in terrific form, but as he and his wife entered the conference hall, Glenys was showing signs of strain. Following criticism that he was too verbose, Mr. Kinnock was greeted with a storm of applause when he promised solemnly never again to say anything 3 times.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that marvellous, marvellous, marvellous reception.
As the Labour Party folded its khaki army surplus tents in Blackpool, the Tories were erecting their pink and white striped marquees in Bournemouth. Mrs. Thatcher was a goddess. At the gala ball, she graciously materialised amongst her worshippers. Dennis was a bit high that night, but she had him on a tight leash. The conference was a triumph for Mrs. Thatcher and a final defeat for Mr. Michael Heseltine's futile but long-cherished ambition to challenge her leadership. In a brilliant move by Mrs. Thatcher's personal staff, Mr. Heseltine had been given the wrong address for the conference. So instead of going to Bournemouth, he went to Borneo, where on the esplanade in front of the exclusive Holiday Inn Tarakan, he gradually realized there were very few Conservatives present. A broken man, he contemplated a new career in men's personal cosmetics. Mrs. Thatcher was now a truly exalted leader, so exalted that Mr. Kenneth Baker had no other function except to demand acknowledgement of her divinity.
Hands up, all those who believe that the Prime Minister is doing a good job.
Lester Piggott made a sensational return to horse racing and gave an interview afterwards to Romanian television. The Romanian interviewer spoke English, but Piggott stunned even his admirers by answering in fluent Romanian.
You know, he came on baby, and then, you know, I nearly got back to him, and, you know, it was very close.
Soviet President Gorbachev arrived in Paris to meet French President Mitterrand and sign a treaty guaranteeing the supply of French onion rings for Soviet hamburgers. President Mitterrand had heard of Gorby's skill in snaffling the best pen on these occasions and preempted him by putting his Mont Blanc away before his guest could get his hands on it. But Gorby tricked him by saying, "You have pocketed my worthless Soviet pen by mistake, mon brave." Mitterrand fell for it. In the Gulf crisis, little did Saddam know that Britain's secret weapon was about to be launched in his direction. Yes, the whole country had realized that Edward Heath was the ideal man to send on a hopeless mission into the world's most dangerous area.
The mail has been enormous, and they've all said, "Thank God you're going."
In Britain, the Liberal Democrats were on the move again. They won a sensational by-election in Eastbourne, which leads us to another quiz question. Both these men are Liberal Democrats. Can you name a third? Barbara Bush invited the Princess of Wales to Washington because she was worried that the poor girl was wasting away. "You should eat," Barbara told Diana. "Get some meat on those bones. Your clothes are just hanging on you. Come inside and have some nice quail pie." Sir Geoffrey Howe was now the last remaining member of Margaret Thatcher's original cabinet, having survived so long chiefly because Mrs. Thatcher hung her coat and handbag on him when she arrived at cabinet meeting. But beneath Sir Geoffrey's mild exterior lay a savage beast, ready to spring into action with the coiled reflexes of some great jungle cat. Matters came to a head on the flight back from an EEC conference in Rome, which Sir Geoffrey and Mrs. Thatcher had attended together. When she told him to step outside for a newspaper at 30,000 feet, Howe's reaction was immediate. Mrs. Thatcher was in trouble. Suddenly, Michael Heseltine was looking like a leader. Mr. Heseltine's campaign for the leadership was based on how tall he was. To enhance his height advantage, he flew to Jordan to be photographed with King Hussein, beside whom Mr. Heseltine could normally expect to look very tall indeed. But King Hussein had learned his lesson about standing up and had been sitting down since midway through August. He remained seated throughout Mr. Heseltine's 3-week visit. Meanwhile, in the absence of Mr. Heseltine, Mr. Hurd was the tallest candidate. His appearance on Come Dancing with 6-foot-tall volleyball champion Samantha Hayhoe Silva made a big impression on Tory women MPs. But finally, as Mrs. Thatcher had known all along, nothing could stop ex-hod-carrying son of a trapeze artist, John Major. Yes, the man who had started out as a hod-carrying son of a trapeze artist was now the youngest hod-carrying son of a trapeze artist ever to become Prime Minister. That evening, the normally quiet Mr. Major permitted himself one crazy night of celebration. In his favorite restaurant, Les Amis de Pommes Frites, he recklessly ordered a double portion of poached eggs with extra HP sauce. With her young protege safely installed in number 10, Mrs. Thatcher drove to the palace, where she gently broke the shattering news that she wouldn't be popping in on Tuesdays to give the Queen her instructions anymore. November was the month when Sinead O'Connor's song Nothing Compares to You was voted Song of the Year. It was a song of loss, a cry in the night, the broken body of a seagull on the beach, the weeping of a child for its missing marbles. We could only add to its pathos.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant, but nothing, I said nothing can take away this blues.
Came as no surprise to other world leaders. President Bush was immediately on the phone to President Gorbachev.
You won't believe this.
Mr. Bush, worried about failing to recognize Mr. Major if he met him, cleverly decided to greet every stranger he met as Mr. Major.
Hey, how are you?
There was yet another technological breakthrough in Japan. The new Sony photo booth was personally tested by the Emperor. The first set of prints didn't turn out, so the Emperor reread the instructions carefully. Then the Emperor put the Empress into the booth. Those prints didn't come out either, so he read the instructions again. The Empress returned disappointed to the Imperial Palace, and the Imperial Minister of Photography received a certain amount of criticism. Gorbachev went to Rome to meet the Pope and make the first confession any Soviet leader had ever made outside KGB headquarters. Gorby was ashamed that in the Swap the Pen contest, nobody ever wanted to end up with the Russian pen. The Pope told him, that is because your pens are unfillable. Try one of mine, they're infallible. The year was almost over. Christmas was coming, and it was the season of goodwill, when all over the world people come to call on each other to reinforce old friendships. An elderly American arrived at number 10 Downing Street with the cheery words, "Boy, tell Mrs. Thatcher I'm here." The French and the British met under the Channel. To symbolize the glittering future for trade, a French flag made in Toulouse was exchanged for a British flag made in Toulouse. For Mrs. Thatcher, the question of what lay beyond being Her Majesty's First Minister could only have one answer. In the new year, she herself would be crowned Queen. As the old year ended, her chief task was to rehearse for the ceremony. By dead of night, with only a few hundred ex-cabinet ministers present, she practiced for the great day with the aid of her consort, now Sir Dennis Thatcher, Baronet, Knight Grand Corkscrew of the Order of the Same Again. As for the current Queen, Her Majesty was looking forward to abdication because it would give her more time to spend with her family. But before Big Ben chimes 12, there should be just time to find out who wins the title of our Man or Woman of the Year. Yes, it's time to present our coveted award for the man or woman who has made 1990 perhaps the most memorable year since 1989. Before that, however, some only slightly lesser prize winners. The Bronze Bra for a Brass Broad Award goes to Madonna, the woman who has proved that you don't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger to make men afraid when you take your clothes off. Sadly, Madonna can't be with us tonight because she's fighting Mike Tyson. The Polly Peck Prize for Successful Management goes to Bobby Robson, the man who proved that given the facilities, the faith, and some talented lads, England can still come forth. Sadly, Bobby can't be with us tonight. He's on Belgian television saying the lad's done brilliant to lose by so little. The Edwina Curry Award for Unashamed Femininity goes to Yasmin Arafat. The woman whose merest glance could send a camel through the eye of a needle. Sadly, Yasmin can't be with us tonight. She's still in airport security in Athens. So, with time running out and the world waiting to hear who has won the title Man or Woman of the Year, it's time to open the envelope and reveal that the man or woman of the year is the Man of the Year, and the Man of the Year is... Sadly, I have to stop there because it's midnight, but I'll be back to announce the Man of the Year after Big Ben strikes the hour. it's time to announce the Man of the Year. And the Man of the Year is the man who sings on earth the way God does in the shower, Luciano Pavarotti. Ladies and gentlemen, sadly, Luciano can't be with us tonight.
Clive, I'm here.
Good heavens, it's Luciano Pavarotti.
Behind you. Here.
Luciano. Happy New Year, Luciano.
Thank you. And to all of you, Happy New Year.
Luciano, congratulations on a great year for you and for Italian opera. And I suppose if you'd beaten Argentina, it would have been a great year for Italian football.
But we beat England.
Luciano, allow me to present you with the Man of the Year trophy.
Thank you very, very much. I'm very touched. I received many of these trophies, but this is one who is going to stay very, very close to my heart for a long, long time. Forever, I hope.